before you give up, pause for just a moment and take a deep breath. I know you're tired. Not the kind of tired a nap can fix, but the kind that weighs on your soul. The kind that feels like you're carrying the weight of the world and no one sees how hard you're holding it all together. You've been trying, more than you let on, but life just keeps pushing you against the wall. The bad news hits before you've even had the chance to recover from the last blow. And now you're asking yourself, is this even worth it? Is there still something waiting on the other side? Or is it just more disappointment? I get that feeling, not from reading books, but from lived experience, from sleepless nights, from sitting in the dark, alone, not knowing what was keeping me going anymore. But somewhere in the middle of that chaos, I discovered something I never saw before. Pain isn't the end. Sometimes it's the beginning. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once wrote, "The obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way." That changed everything for me. I stopped seeing struggle as punishment and started seeing it for what it truly is: a forge, a test, a teacher. You weren't made for a life of comfort. You were made for depth, for courage, for meaning. And maybe, just maybe, if you're standing at the edge right now, you're closer to a breakthrough than you realize. So no, this isn't just another empty pep talk. I'm here to share with you 7 hard-earned lessons, rooted in ancient Stoic wisdom, not to make you feel better, but to help you become stronger. Are you ready? Because your journey back to inner strength starts right at the moment you almost gave up. Lesson 1. Turn pain into your greatest teacher. Let's talk about pain. Not just physical pain, but the deeper kind. The pain of failure. The pain of loss. The kind of pain that eats at you from the inside when no one's watching. Most people run from pain. They avoid it, numb it, distract themselves from it. We live in a world that teaches us, if something hurts, escape it. But what if I told you, pain isn't the enemy, it's your greatest teacher? The Stoics believe that pain isn't something to fear, it's something to face, to examine, to embrace. Marcus Aurelius said it best: the obstacle in the path becomes the path. What stands in the way becomes the way. I remember a time when everything in my life fell apart. I lost my job, a role I'd invested years of effort, identity, and pride into. And just like that, it was gone. The days that followed were a blur. Numb, angry, but mostly ashamed. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't even want to leave the house. It felt like the world was moving on, and I was stuck. So I did what many of us do. I tried to escape the pain. Endless scrolling, TV, noise, anything but silence. But here's what I learned. Pain doesn't go away when you run from it. It just digs deeper. Then one night I came across a line from Seneca. If you avoid suffering, you'll never discover what you're truly capable of. That one sentence changed everything for me. I wasn't weak because I was in pain. I was weak because I was avoiding the growth it was offering. So I stopped running. I sat in the silence, and I let the pain speak. And slowly, I started to listen. It told me truths I had buried for years. That I had tied my worth to my job title. That I was chasing approval instead of purpose. That I didn't even know who I was without success. Pain became a mirror, showing me everything I didn't want to see. But that's exactly what I needed. The Stoics didn't reject pain. They leaned into it. Because pain exposes our false selves and leaves only what's real. Epictetus, born a slave and later one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Difficulty shows what people are. So when trouble comes, don't complain. Reveal your strength." That idea stayed with me. I made a promise to myself. Whenever pain shows up, I show up too. I started treating emotional pain like going to the gym. Lifting weights hurts, but that's how muscles grow. Same with the mind. Same with the soul. Pain tears down the weak parts of us, so we can rebuild stronger. I started journaling every day, not just to vent, but to learn. To ask myself, what fear is behind this pain? What truth am I resisting? What is this pain trying to teach me? And over time, something powerful happened. The pain didn't leave, but I changed. I became more patient, more honest, more grounded. The Stoics understood this well. Life is going to test you. That's not a flaw. That's the process. Just like fire tests gold, adversity tests you. And in that testing, you grow. I want to share a story. There's a woman I met. Let's call her Maya. She lost her husband suddenly. Her world collapsed overnight. But instead of running from grief, she chose to walk through it fully. She said, "I didn't want to move on. That felt fake. I wanted to move with the pain, to carry it and let it shape me." Today, Maya helps others move through grief, not because she forgot her pain, but because she transformed with it. That's the heart of Stoicism. That's what it means to turn pain into power. So what about you? What's hurting in your life right now? And what might that pain be trying to teach you? Is it revealing something you've been avoiding? Is it pushing you to grow? Is it trying to set you free? Don't silence it. Don't distract yourself from it. Don't numb it. Face it. Feel it. Learn from it. Because the truth is, your strength is not built in moments of ease. It's built in fire. Every time you choose to sit with your pain instead of run from it, you become more resilient, more wise, more you. The next time you feel like breaking, ask yourself, what is this here to teach me? And then listen, because pain doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to shape you, to strip away the surface, so your strongest self can rise. Let pain be your teacher, and you'll never waste another hardship again. Lesson 2, solitude is power. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you were truly alone? Not just alone in a room, but alone in your mind. No noise, no scrolling, no one else's voice in your head. Just you. These days, that kind of silence almost feels dangerous. We avoid it. We drown it in music, podcasts, group chats, TikTok clips. Because silence forces us to feel. And most of us don't want to feel. But the Stoics believed something different. Solitude isn't weakness. It's not loneliness. It's power. I used to be afraid of being alone. If I wasn't talking to someone or busy with something, I felt like I was falling behind. Like I didn't matter unless I was visible, valuable, validated. Then life hit me. A season came where people left. Plans collapsed. The noise disappeared. And I was left with myself. At first, I hated it. The silence was loud. The stillness was painful. I kept trying to distract myself. Scrolling, streaming. But nothing filled the gap. Then it hit me. I wasn't lonely for people. I was lonely for myself. That's when I found a quote by Epictetus. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and to be alone. That line changed how I saw everything. The Stoics didn't see solitude as isolation. They saw it as transformation. So I stopped fighting the silence. And I leaned in. I began going on walks, alone. No phone, no headphones. Just me, my breath, and the sound of my own footsteps. I started journaling, not to be productive, but to get honest. What am I feeling? What have I been avoiding? And something surprising happened. The silence stopped feeling empty. It started feeling full. Full of clarity. Full of truth. Full of me. That's what solitude gives you. A mirror. Not to judge yourself, but to see yourself. Most of us don't know who we are. Without the opinions of others shaping us. Without the pressure to perform, impress, please. But in solitude, there's no one to perform for. Just you. And who you really are underneath it all. It's uncomfortable at first, but it's freeing. Because once you know yourself in silence, you stop chasing noise for validation. I realized something else. I wasn't broken. I was buried. Under expectations. Under pressure. Under noise. Solitude helped me dig myself out. And what I found wasn't flashy. It wasn't loud. But it was solid. I was grounded. Calm. Centered. That's the gift of solitude. It doesn't make you untouchable, but it makes you unshakable. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but his greatest strength came not from his army, but from his journal. Written alone in silence, never meant for anyone else to read. That's Stoic power. Public strength begins with private clarity. Solitude isn't retreat. It's recovery. It's reflection. It's where you recalibrate. So if you're overwhelmed, don't just push harder. Step back. Don't fill the space. Honor it. Sit with yourself. Breathe. Listen. You might be surprised what shows up. Here's something I started doing. Whenever I feel lost, I unplug. No phone. No noise. Just a few hours. Just me. And every single time, I come back stronger. Not because the world changed, but because I did. So if you feel like you're falling apart, maybe what you really need isn't more input, but less. Less advice. Less noise. More you. Let solitude become your sanctuary. Let it remind you that your peace is not out there. It's in here. Remember this. Loneliness is disconnection from others. Solitude is reconnection with yourself. And in that space, you rediscover your power. Lesson 3. Let go of goals. This might sound strange, but sometimes the thing holding you back is the very goal you're chasing. We've been taught that goals are everything. Set them. Visualize them. Push until you reach them. And if you're not constantly achieving, you're falling behind. But what if that's not true? What if the goals you're chasing are actually what's weighing you down? There was a time in my life when I was obsessed with goals. I had vision boards, affirmations taped to the mirror. I thought I was building my future, but I was really building a prison. Every day I judged myself by progress. Did I hit that milestone? Was I closer to success? If not, I felt like a failure. Even if I'd tried my best, I wasn't living. I was chasing, always reaching, never arriving. Then I came across a truth from Epictetus. Some things are within our control and some are not. That hit me hard. Because goals, most of them, are outcomes. And outcomes? They're not in your control. What is in your control? Your effort, your mindset, your choices today, not the result. So I tried something radical. I let go of my goals. I didn't stop working. I didn't stop dreaming. But I stopped tying my worth to some future version of myself. I stopped chasing the finish line and started focusing on the road beneath my feet. This isn't giving up on growth. It's letting go of pressure. It's not laziness. It's liberation. I shifted the question from how fast can I get there to how fully can I live today, from what's the result to what's the lesson, and something changed. I felt peace. I enjoyed the process. I started growing again, but from a place of presence, not pressure. Seneca once wrote, "A wise person is content with what they have and doesn't pine for what they don't." That's not settling. That's strength. That's clarity. It's trusting the process, not obsessing over the prize. Let me share something personal. I once spent a full year on a creative project, poured my heart into it, expected it to launch my career. When I finally released it, crickets, low views, minimal impact, silence. I was crushed, but I realized, did I show up? Did I create with honesty? Did I grow? Yes. Then it wasn't failure. It was foundation. Now I live by a different rule. Show up fully. Detach from outcomes. Let the rest go. Because when you let go of goals, you make space for what's real. Sometimes we cling to goals set by a version of us that no longer exists. It's okay to change, to pivot, to pause. Ask yourself, is this still what I want? Or am I chasing it because I'm afraid to stop? You don't owe your old goals your current peace. Marcus Aurelius said, if you are disturbed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Let that sink in. Your peace doesn't come from hitting every target. It comes from knowing what's truly in your control and letting go of the rest. So if you're tired, if your goals feel like pressure, not purpose, take a breath. Come back to the present. What can I do today with intention, with love? Then do that. No more chasing. No more clinging. Just trust. Trust that showing up is enough. Trust that growth happens quietly. Trust that you're already on the right path, even if it doesn't look the way you imagined. Let go of the need to arrive and start living where you are. Lesson 4. Seek challenges, not comfort. Let's be honest. Comfort feels good. It's warm. It's safe. It gives us the illusion that everything is okay. Even when deep down we know we're stuck. We're told to chase comfort, to find the easiest path, to work hard, but only so we can finally relax. Buy the house, get the car, retire early. But here's what the Stoics understood. A comfortable life doesn't make you stronger. It makes you softer, weaker, more fragile. I remember a time when my life looked safe on the outside. I had a stable job, a predictable schedule. Everything felt okay. But deep down I was bored, uninspired, numb. I wasn't struggling, but I wasn't growing either. And then one day I read a quote that shook me awake. Easy lives make soft people. Hard lives make strong people. That's when I realized I wasn't living. I was coasting, avoiding anything that might stretch me. The Stoics believe that we are built to grow. But growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in resistance, in adversity, in choosing the harder path when everything in you wants the easy way out. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show what men are." Therefore, when a difficulty falls upon you, remember that God, like a trainer, is putting you to the test. It's in the challenge that we find our edge, our grit, our strength. So I made a choice to start doing things that scared me, not recklessly, but intentionally. I signed up for things I felt unqualified for. I started waking up earlier. I began conversations I would have avoided before. I stopped saying one day and started saying day one. And here's what happened. I failed. A lot. I stumbled. I faced doubt, discomfort, and fear. But I also became alive again. Because pain means you're in motion. Discomfort means you're expanding. And challenge? Challenge means you're becoming something more. Marcus Aurelius didn't rule Rome by staying in luxury. He went to war. He lost loved ones. He fought illness. He endured betrayal. And yet he wrote about calm, about clarity, about peace. What? Because he knew. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Real strength comes from within. And strength doesn't come by avoiding storms. It comes by walking through them with purpose. Think about nature. Trees that grow in calm weather? They're weak. But trees that grow in wind? They anchor deeper. Their roots stretch wider. They don't just survive, they become unshakable. You're the same. If everything feels too easy right now, maybe it's because you've stopped stretching. Here's a question to ask yourself. When was the last time you chose discomfort, on purpose? When did you last put yourself in a room where you weren't the smartest? When did you last chase something knowing you might fail? If it's been a while, it's time. Because comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Let me share something personal. A few years ago, I started something new, completely outside my skill set. It terrified me. There were days I wanted to quit, nights I couldn't sleep, moments where I felt like a fraud. But every time I pushed through, I found strength I didn't know I had. And now, that challenge became the most meaningful thing I've ever done. Not because it was easy, but because it wasn't. The Stoics taught us to train for life. Before life hits us, they practiced voluntary discomfort, cold baths, minimalism, fasting. They chose small hardships on purpose, to build the strength for the real ones that would inevitably come. They didn't wait for disaster to get stronger. They trained before the war. You can too. Start small. Take the stairs. Say what you've been avoiding. Try the thing that scares you. Do it not because it's easy, but because it's hard. That's where your strength is hiding. And when you fail, because you will, remember what Seneca said. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. The courage comes first. The strength follows. So here's the challenge. The next time you're faced with two paths, one easy, one difficult, choose the hard one. Choose the one that stretches you, that forces you to grow, that requires you to level up. Because one day life will test you. And if all you've practiced is comfort, you won't be ready. But if you've chosen challenge, day by day, little by little, then when life knocks, you won't break, you'll rise. So don't fear the hard path. Don't run from discomfort. Don't shrink when life gets heavy. That pressure? That storm? It's building the unshakable version of you. You don't need an easier life. You need a stronger you. And that strength starts with one decision. Seek challenge, not comfort. Lesson 5. Detach from emotions. Let's be clear. Emotions aren't bad. You're not weak for feeling things deeply. In fact, you're human because of it. But here's the problem. When your emotions control you, you lose yourself. 1 minute you're calm. Then someone cuts you off in traffic. And suddenly you're angry. You hear bad news. And your whole day crashes. Someone criticizes you. And your confidence vanishes. And just like that, you've given your power away. The Stoics didn't reject emotion. They didn't try to erase feeling. What they practiced was something deeper. Emotional mastery. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about those things. It's not the event. It's our reaction. It's not the words spoken to you. It's the meaning you attach to them." I used to be a slave to my emotions. Something went wrong, I'd spiral. Stress took over. Anxiety ruled my mind. Every setback felt like the end. But then I learned a simple truth. I don't have to believe every feeling that shows up. Feelings are visitors. They come, they go, but they don't have to stay. So I started practicing detachment. Here's what that looks like. When anger rises, pause, breathe, observe it. When fear whispers, don't run, lean in. Ask where it's coming from. When sadness hits, don't fight it. Let it speak, but don't let it define you. This is what the Stoics did. They trained themselves to stand still in the storm, not by pretending they didn't feel, but by choosing how to respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's the key. Your power is in your response. Think about it. Most of our regrets come from emotional reactions. We snap. We lash out. We quit too soon. We say something we can't take back. But when you learn to pause, to observe, to choose, you reclaim control. You don't react. You respond. And that response makes all the difference. Let me share something from my life. There was a period when everything seemed to fall apart at once. Work, family, finances. I was overwhelmed, drowning in fear and frustration. But instead of falling apart, I tried something new. Every morning before I did anything, I sat in silence. I let the fear rise. I let the frustration come. And I watched them like clouds passing overhead. I told myself, these emotions are real, but they're not permanent. And they're not me. It wasn't magic, but it gave me space, a moment of clarity. And in that space, I made better decisions. I kept moving, and slowly I rebuilt. Detachment isn't cold. It's not suppression. It's strength. It's saying, I see this emotion. I feel it, but I don't become it. You are not your anger. You are not your anxiety. You are not your sadness. You are the one observing them, the one choosing what comes next. Seneca said it beautifully. He is a great man who uses earthenware dishes as if they were silver, but also uses silver as if it were earthenware. That's not about dishes. It's about perspective, balance, not getting carried away by emotions, in joy or in sorrow. So how do you practice emotional detachment? Start small. Next time something upsets you, pause for 5 seconds. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this helping me or hurting me? Then choose your next move, intentionally. It also helps to write. Every night I journal. What triggered me today? Why did I react that way? What could I do differently tomorrow? Over time, those answers turn into patterns. Patterns turn into habits. And habits? They turn into emotional strength. Because here's the truth. You can't control the world, but you can control your inner world. And when you do that, no storm outside you can shake the peace within you. Imagine living like that. Calm when others panic. Clear when others are confused. Grounded, no matter what's happening around you. That's Stoic strength. That's what emotional detachment gives you. Not a numb heart, but a steady one. So the next time your emotions surge, remember, you don't have to act on every feeling. You don't have to believe every thought. You don't have to lose your peace. Just breathe. Step back. Observe. Then choose the path that keeps your mind strong and your soul steady. Detach. Not to escape life, but to engage it with clarity. Because the calmer you are inside, the stronger you'll be for everything life throws at you. Lesson 6. Be your own advocate. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you spoke up for yourself? Not for your friends, not for your job, not to keep the peace, but for you, for your worth, your truth, your boundaries. We grow up being told to be humble, to stay quiet, to wait our turn, to be grateful for what we're given. And there's value in humility, no doubt. But there's a difference between being humble and being invisible. Here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. That's not a negative thought. It's a liberating one, because it means you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to hope someone will notice your value. You don't need permission to stand up and claim your space. The Stoics were clear about this. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Don't wait to be validated. Live in a way that reflects your truth, boldly, quietly, consistently." I used to think, if I just work hard, someone will notice. If I'm kind enough, good things will come. But life doesn't always work that way. There were times when I gave more than I received. Times when I kept quiet, thinking that patience was noble. But in reality, I was hiding, afraid to rock the boat, afraid to be too much. Then one day I got passed over again, for a promotion, for a seat at the table I had earned. And I realized, if I don't speak up, I stay stuck. That's when I learned this lesson. Advocating for yourself is not arrogance. It's responsibility. Being your own advocate means saying, I matter. My voice counts. My needs are valid. It's not about being loud. It's about being clear. It's not about demanding power. It's about owning your power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Stop waiting for others to recognize your worth. Start showing it. And how you speak, how you walk, how you live." Advocacy starts in small ways. It's saying no when something drains you. It's asking for what you need without guilt. It's leaving a situation that no longer respects you. And yes, it's uncomfortable. You might feel selfish. You might fear rejection. You might shake. But speak anyway. Act anyway. Because every time you choose yourself, you teach the world how to treat you. You don't have to yell. You don't have to fight. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to be unapologetically honest about who you are and what you deserve. Let me tell you something personal. There was a point when I lost my sense of voice. In work, in relationships, I was always accommodating, always adjusting, until one day I looked in the mirror and thought, I don't recognize myself anymore. So I started saying what I meant, setting boundaries, sticking to them even when it felt scary. And slowly people around me changed. Some respected me more. Some walked away. But the person I became? Stronger, clearer, real. Seneca wrote, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. You fear rejection, so you shrink. You fear discomfort, so you stay silent. But you dream of a full life, while living only half of one. That stops now." Being your own advocate means becoming the hero of your own story, not waiting to be rescued, not hoping someone will hand you the life you want, but stepping up and claiming it yourself. So here's the challenge. The next time you want something, the next time something feels wrong, say so. The next time you feel overlooked, stand taller. And if your voice shakes, let it. That's not weakness. That's courage in motion. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you wait for someone to fight for you, you might wait forever. But if you become your own advocate, you stop waiting and start becoming. So speak up. Stand firm. Don't just hope to be valued. Show the world you already are. Because when you stand for yourself, you give others permission to do the same. And that's how change begins. Lesson 7. You are enough. Let's end with something most people never hear enough. You are enough. Right now. Not when you achieve more. Not when you fix yourself. Not when everything finally falls into place. Right now as you are. I know that's hard to believe, because we live in a world built to make you doubt yourself. You're constantly told you're missing something, that you need to be better, richer, smarter, more attractive, more accomplished. But what if that voice is lying? The Stoics taught something radically different. They said, everything you need to live well, to endure pain, to live with meaning, already exists within you. Epictetus wrote, no man is free who is not master of himself, and no man is poor who has enough of himself. That truth is timeless. You don't need to chase worth. You need to recognize it. For a long time, I thought I had to prove myself, to earn love, to earn respect, to earn my place in the world. So I kept pushing. I worked late. I over-delivered. I said yes when I wanted to say no, because deep down, I believed that if I just did enough, maybe I would finally feel like enough. But that feeling never came, because the finish line kept moving, and I was chasing something I already had, but didn't know how to see. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to wait for some future version of you to feel whole. You are already enough, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to try, willing to grow, willing to show up. That's what matters. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, wrote in his private journal, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. He wasn't waiting for the world to tell him he was worthy. He already knew. And if someone ruling half the world still reminded himself of that every morning, maybe we should too. Being enough doesn't mean you stop improving. It means you stop hating yourself while you do it. It means you stop measuring your worth by productivity, numbers, or comparison. It means you start honoring your effort, your values, your quiet strength. Let me tell you something personal. There was a time I hit rock bottom. Emotionally, financially, spiritually. Everything I thought defined me, status, income, identity, was gone. And for the first time, I had to ask myself, who am I without all of that? And you know what I found? Not a failure, not a loser, not someone broken, but someone real, stripped of image, but full of truth. In that silence, I found self-respect, not because I had something to prove, but because I had survived, and I was still standing. Sometimes just getting through the day is enough. Sometimes being here, present, breathing, fighting quietly, is a triumph. So if no one has told you this today, hear me now. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are enough. You've always been. The Stoics believed in what they called eudaimonia, a state of inner flourishing, not based on external success, but internal alignment. It's not about having everything. It's about being aligned with your values, your virtue, your effort. That's where peace comes from. That's where fulfillment begins. So let go of the idea that you need to earn your worth. You already have it. You were born with it. And nothing, no failure, no rejection, no moment of doubt can take it away. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to say, I'm doing my best, and that's enough for today. You're allowed to take up space, to say no, to dream, to exist fully, unapologetically, and without needing to explain why. This is not permission to stop growing. It's a reminder that your growth is rooted in love, not shame. Because people who know they're enough don't stop trying. They just stop hurting themselves in the process. So here's your final reminder. You are not your resume. You are not your failures. You are not your bank account, your titles, or your timeline. You are the sum of your courage, your kindness, your resilience, your truth. You are already enough. And now, it's time to live like it. No more proving, just becoming. Not perfect, just present, just real, just you. And that is more than enough. If you've made it this far, then something inside you is still alive, still curious, still reaching, still fighting. And that means there is hope. Not the kind of hope that waits passively, but the kind that grows quietly in the dark. The kind that chooses to keep walking even when the path isn't clear. These 7 lessons, They're not just words. They're weapons, tools, anchors for your soul when the world gets heavy. Because life will test you. It already has, and it will again. But you now have something deeper. A map, a mindset, a set of principles built not on comfort but on character. The Stoics didn't promise an easy life. They promised a strong one. They didn't say pain would disappear. They said you would grow stronger than it. They didn't offer shortcuts. They offered depth. And in a world that's constantly pulling you in 1,000 directions, depth is rare. But it's where everything real begins. So the next time you feel like giving up, replay this truth. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be present, to endure, to learn, to rise. Every moment you choose courage over comfort, truth over denial, discipline over escape, you become more of who you were meant to be. And maybe, just maybe, the version of you you've been chasing is already inside you, waiting, ready, strong. All it needs is for you to show up. So now it's your turn. Look at your life with fresh eyes. Ask yourself, where am I hiding from discomfort? What story have I been telling myself about what I lack? And what would happen if I chose strength over safety? Then make a move, even a small one. Say what needs to be said. Start what you've been avoiding. Let go of what no longer serves you. You don't need to change everything overnight, but you do need to begin. And now is a perfect time. If these lessons spoke to you, share them with someone who needs to hear this. Let's build a community where inner strength matters more than status, where we honor truth, courage, and clarity over noise and fear. Subscribe to the channel, join the movement, and keep coming back for more timeless wisdom, more clarity, and more reminders of just how powerful you truly are. Because the best version of you is not out of reach. It's already here, and it's just getting started.